The Boolean data type basically contains two different types of values, which are nothing but true and false. There is a built-in function in Python which is called as bool. So bool helps in casting any value to true and false. Let us try using bool on various types of values and check what will be the conversion look like. So let's write something like bool of 1. So if we execute, we see that the value is equal to true. So if we cast the value 1 to bool, the Boolean value will be true. So if we write bool of 100, which is also equal to true. So let's try writing bool of -1. So this is also equal to true. Finally, let's try writing bool of 0. If you can observe, the Boolean value of 0 is false. So the value of all the numbers except 0 is true, and only for 0 the Boolean value is equal to false. Let's try this on a list which contains some elements. So a list which has two elements 1, 2. Let's see what will be the Boolean value, Boolean equivalent of this list. So the answer is true. Let's try writing bool of an empty list. So the result is equal to false. So the Boolean value of empty list is false, and the Boolean value of the list which contains some value is some element is equal to true. So what if we write something like bool of a list, empty list, but inside that we again have an empty list? What do you think should be the result? So if we execute, we see that the value is equal to true. So the Boolean of a list which further contains an empty list is equal to true, which basically if there is any content inside of a list, then the value of the Boolean equivalent of that list is true. Let's try the Boolean of an empty string. So if we execute, we see that the Boolean of empty string is equal to false. So what if we give some value inside a string like ABC? So this should be equal to true. The Boolean of an empty string is false, and if the string contains some value, it will be equal to true. So what if we write Boolean of an empty string but with a space? Let's execute and check. It is equal to true. So Boolean of a string which contains at least the space is also equal to true. There are some built-in functions for strings which will output Boolean values. For example, if we write str1 equal to 1, 2, 3, 4, and there is some built-in function called as str1 dot is decimal. This basically checks if the given string contains only decimal values. So if we execute, we get the answer as true because this given string contains only decimal or only numbers. So let's try something else like str1 equal to abc123. So it contains both alphanumeric, right? It contains both characters and numbers. So if we write letters and numbers, so if we write str1 dot is alpha, this basically is about checking whether the given string contains only alphabets. So the answer is false because it also contains some numbers inside the string. So if we write again str1 equal to abc, and this time if we check alpha, obviously the answer should be equal to true because it contains only alphabets. So there are actually many built-in functions for strings like these. We will have a look at them in the upcoming tutorial videos. So next, let's do Boolean of none, right? So this is also equal to false. Now let's try converting the Boolean values to integer and see what would be the values given to it as integers. So what I'm trying to say is, if I typecast the Boolean result to an integer, what do you think would be the result? So if we execute, the result is equal to 1. So if we convert Boolean value true to an integer value, the value will be equal to 1. So any guess if we convert false to integer? It is equal to 0. So the integer value of true and false are 1 and 0 respectively. So now let's try something like true plus 1. What do you think would be the result? So if we execute, the value will be equal to 2 because the value of true is equal to 1. So if we add 1 plus 1, it is equal to 2. So what if we do something like false multiplied by 50? It is basically saying like 0 into 50, the value should be equal to 0. Using the comparison type operators will actually produce Boolean results. So for example, if we write result equal to 6 greater than 5, and if I try to print the value of result, if I execute, the result value will be equal to true. So if you want to understand this in a better way, we can ask question like, is 6 greater than 5? So is 6 greater than 5? The answer is yes, 6 actually is greater than 5, hence the result is true. So let's try another one. If we write result equal to 5 less than 3, and let's print the result. So the value is equal to false. It's because 5 is not less than 3. So let's try something like result equal to 2 in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and let's print the result. So the answer should be true. So it's just like asking whether 2 is present in the list 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The answer is yes, 2 is present in this list, hence the result is equal to true. Let's try another one. Let's try writing result equal to 3 not in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Let's write print result. So what do you think the answer will be? So here we are saying that 3 is not in the list 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? We are saying that 3 is not in the list 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Is this true? It's not, because this is not true because 3 is actually in the list, hence the result should be equal to false because what we said is wrong, right? So the result will be equal to false. So let's try writing some if-else conditions with comparison operators. So I'll write if 5 is less than 6, I'll say print 5 is less than 6. and inside else I will write print 5 is not less than 6. So what will be the result? The result will be 5 is less than 6 because it comes inside the if condition. So let's write this again. So instead of writing the expression, let's directly write the Boolean result, right? So ultimately this 5 less than 6 gives us the Boolean result, right? So instead of writing this expression, let's directly write if true, I'll write print inside if, okay, and else I will write print. So we'll see where the control is, right? If it is equal to true, inside else. So if we execute, the answer will be inside if, right? So let's start changing. Let's just try changing true to false and see where the control goes. I'll say if false, print inside if, else print inside else. So if I execute this, what do you think should be the result? It should be inside else. So if the expression evaluates to true, so if the expression evaluates to true, the control goes to the if condition, okay, and if the expression evaluates to false, the control goes to else statement.